this video will contain spoilers for Inanimate Insanity. So if you don't remember, there was a time when we were getting Inanimate Insanity Season 2 episodes around yearly. The quality of the series was getting to be fantastic, but it would take forever for episodes to release. Episode 14 was the last one we got before a super long hiatus because of these issues. The cast and crew well-deservedly needed a break from the season. So, they made Inanimate Insanity Season 3. A season that takes place right in the middle of Season 2 for some reason. It was mostly meant to be a break from Season 2 with more lighthearted and silly episodes as opposed to the seriousness of Season 2. But there was also another underlying theme to the season. Throughout the season, it's brought up multiple times that the reason MePhone made it in the first place was to get away from the stress and the intensity of Season 2, to escape from having to deal with his problems. By doing this season, he's keeping the Final Four waiting indefinitely for his own benefit. He made a whole new season to procrastinate and wait out his issues. MePhone's the one in the wrong here, and that's the entire point of the season. He tricked them into competing for the season even though he didn't have a prize for them. And by making Season 2's Final Four wait for so long, he's wasting everybody's time and his own. In the finale, he realizes his wrongdoings and tries to stop putting everything off. Even if he has to face the consequences of his actions, he decides to go back and finish what he started.
A vacation? We saw you, last night.
And for half a day, the world actually felt peaceful. But anyway...
Okay, so let me get this straight. MePhone spends 19 whole episodes realizing that what he did was wrong, but when he finally goes back to tackle his responsibilities, there are no consequences for what he did? I'ma be honest, I just hate this. It's stupid and it makes absolutely no sense with his character. Not only is it unexplained how it's only been a day when it's blatantly shown to be so much longer in Season 3, but the idea of there being no consequences to his actions effectively renders a lot of his arc meaningless. Of course, there was more to it than just that. He also screwed over the entire Invitational Committee, and tricked the contestants into competing despite not actually having a prize to give them, but that more or less went to further the idea of him being a bad person. With nobody in Season 2 being upset at him for making them wait so long, there's no real punishment for what he did. Going back into Season 2 really does suck for him, but it's what he would have done in the first place anyways, so it doesn't really count as a sacrifice. And on top of that, when he eventually does go back to Season 2, he doesn't stop procrastinating. By ignoring all of Cobb's phone calls and endangering his contestants, MePhone basically continues to do nothing, pretending the situation he's found himself in means nothing. He's learned nothing. He's procrastinating even more and is the cause of Nickel, Pickle, OJ, and maybe even Soap's death. And by extension, this kinda makes the villain of Inanimate Insanity MePhone4. Steve Cobbs might be the one who's deleting all the contestants, and the one who's the reason for most of MePhone, MePad, and countless others' issues and trauma. I'm not defending the guy, but MePhone really isn't that much better. Think about that twist at the end of episode 16. MePhone created 31 or so contestants just to compete on his stupid reality show and mentally torment them. They all get pit against each other, and counting the RCs from season 1, yeah, I bet you forgot about those guys, that makes 41. And probably Toilet too. MePhone created 42 people to get over his daddy issues. And in episode 16, when the going gets tough, all he does is hide in the closet, leaving everyone else to pick up the pieces of their friends potentially dying. I mean, there are only 4 contestants who got away from the show relatively unscathed, and I use the term relatively very loosely because half of them are ghosts. Whether intentionally or not, MePhone hurts everyone around him. And well, I have another example of that actually. In III, specifically in the later episodes, Cabby is shown to be somebody with memory issues. She has this moment talking to Bot about how she doesn't remember her parents' faces or pretty much anything before the show, and how much this scares and hurts her.
But I don't really know. I'm not sure if it's a memory thing, but I often wonder. And I think really, really hard. I try to picture a face and it hurts. A lot.
She's someone who likes to know everything, and the fact that she doesn't know this is the reason why she takes all these notes and all these files and everything. It's because she's so scared to lose something else. But with the revelation that MePhone created her to be a contestant on the show, it suddenly makes all the more sense why she doesn't remember anything. And this is something that really traumatizes Cabby, this absence of knowledge. I honestly think it's the only reason why she won this season, from a writing perspective, is because that she's the only one who has to live knowing that something isn't right with her past. She makes do with it, but it does ruin her life, and that's all because of MePhone. I mean, I guess it's better than not having been made at all, but regardless, MePhone's carelessness results in others' traumas, just like Cobb's. Small, unrelated side note, but I think it's cool that of all people, Cabby had this conversation about her parents with Bot, the only other character who wouldn't be confused to their own past, because it's Bot. While everyone forgave him for tricking the Season 3 cast into aimlessly competing, Taco rightfully pointed out how terrible MePhone still is in episode 15. His redemption was BS. MePhone didn't grow from his experiences, and he still hasn't changed his ways. He's still actively making everything worse, and Taco didn't even know to what extent she was right. MePhone is the bad guy here, just because of everything wrong that he's done. It's been pointed out in II-15, but even with it pointed out, MePhone doesn't yield on his bad tendencies. He still forces Suitcase to choose between baseball and knife, creating even more relationship drama. He still ignores Cobbs' phone calls and causes multiple irreversible deaths. He really hasn't learned anything, and by the end I hope he will, but as of yet, he's still a bad person. The only difference between MePhone and Steve Cobbs is that he has a sob story, but that still doesn't undo the bad that he's done. You know, I've been seeing the sentiment online a lot recently that, oh, MePhone was just a child. He didn't know what he was doing. He didn't mean to hurt anybody. First of all, that's an explanation, not an excuse. And second of all, he's a father of 40. He's hosted 3 seasons of II, plus he acts as a functional adult. It'd be one thing if he had the maturity of a child, but he acts like an adult. I don't think you can really use that excuse for him. And with that, thank you for watching. It's my first time making a video essay of this type, so if you have any criticism, let me know. I don't know how many more of these I'm gonna make. This whole video was more or less just to test the waters, see if I actually could make this type of video, and I'm pretty pleased with the result. I kinda want to just try something new. So yeah, thanks for watching, and remember, if you in an island, name it Penn Island, all caps, no spaces.